Today we're going to be taking a look at some Lego photographs that I took when I was only 10 years old. When I first started posting Lego content, I was making Lego photo edits and posting them on Instagram, and I made quite a few of them. I put a lot of editing time into these and ended up being quite proud of a few of them. My personal favorites being the ones that feature my cat as a giant monster attacking my Lego city, which spawned a whole storyline in my photos as the citizens of my Lego city attempted to rebuild. Here's the mayor addressing the city and surveying the wreckage, a giant weapon Tony Stark creates to fight back against the cat, and a delivery of vaccines during the height of the coronavirus. That's how I got back into the hobby of Lego, actually, in the middle of quarantine when there was nothing else to do. In the midst of my recent move into my new house, I found this stack of photographs that I had completely forgotten about from my childhood. My first experiences with photography were with a disposable camera, just like the one in this photo. That's actually my brother in the picture, but I'm sure I looked just the same. My mom would buy us those disposable cameras from the drugstore, and then we would run through the roll of film and she would take us back up to CVS to get them developed. It was a really fun thing that I did as a kid. Funnily enough, this particular roll of film and these printed photos are actually a bunch of scenes that I had created posing my Lego minifigures around the house in various scenarios. It's kind of ironic I took these photos nearly 20 years ago when I was only 10 years old, and yet they are a direct precursor to all those photo edits that I made during the pandemic. None of these photos are very good, but they are funny to look at, and I thought it would be fun to take a look through the eyes of a 10-year-old me as he's kind of learning to navigate the world of photography, learning how to tell stories, and just having fun playing with his Lego minifigures. I wonder what is the best Lego photo that I took when I was 10 years old. Let's go ahead and find out. So looking on the back here, these are Kodak prints made on August 21st, 2004 at Osco. I thought it was CVS, but it was actually Osco before that. So they were all printed on the same day. I assume they were all taken on the same day or in the same week at least. And I tried to group them at least by subject. But let's go ahead and take a look at these. So the first one is a classic kid play setup. Got the sink full of water. You got a few minifigs here having some fun on the boat, but there is a slight problem. You've got Shaq in the water, and it seems like he may be having some trouble. I hope that the guy in the back is gonna throw him a lifeboat, and I do hope we get a closer look at these minifigs to see exactly which ones these are, but I know that's Shaq. I did have a bunch of the Lego basketball figures. I really wish that I still had those. Those were super cool. They had the springs in their legs so that they could shoot the ball. And then the second photo, unfortunately, I think that saving Shaq was not successful, and it looks like we've got a bunch of minifigures either swimming or drowning. Their arms are out. I'm gonna assume they're swimming, but I've gotta say, they kind of look a little drowned, and I am a little bit concerned for my mental health as a 10-year-old to stage such a scary scene, but you know, that's how kids are, right? So the next few are funny. These are what I would call a series of minifigures working together to operate electronics. We've got this old school stereo here. We had the Yamaha stereo system. I believe this was the surround sound in our living room. This is what I mean when I say nostalgic. You got the wood grain on the TV and you've got the wood grain on the wall. You can see here they're all just collaborating, trying to get the sound working as best as possible. Similar here, we've got, you know, they're on the remote trying to get the TV on. I think this was in my basement. And a few things that stick out to me here that are very nostalgic for me personally. You got Yu-Gi-Oh card on the floor. Yu-Gi-Oh cards were something that I was super into as a child. You got Spider-Man. I think that's Spider-Man 2, the video game. One of the best GameCube games of all time is Spider-Man 2. And I assume some of those are Nintendo powers. I actually still have some Nintendo powers in my basement. We also got Star Fox Adventures, another great game. Got that when the GameCube first came out. Let me know if you guys have played Star Fox Adventures. I actually really like that game. And then finally, you got 3 minifigures collaborating to work together on the GameCube controller. Now, what I meant to do is actually critique the photographs. What I would say about my early photography techniques, I should have got a lot closer to the subject. I was pretty freaking far away, which is not good. You can barely see what we're looking at, and it's hard to tell who the minifigs even are. that's a good tip for you guys. If you guys are taking Lego photographs, get as close as possible. Get it zoomed up in there. Legos are very small. Lego minifigures are even smaller. So you want to get as close as possible to make sure you capture that in high detail. And I was not doing that there. That's why I spent the entirety of this photograph talking about all this stuff in the frame that had nothing to do with our story. That's going to be a common theme that you see throughout these. They are very far away. But here in this next photograph, you've got two guys. They're on a Game Boy Advance, and that is my original Game Boy Advance with the purple translucent body. And those things are beautiful. I really think they should bring back those purple translucent bodies on electronics. That is a very classic look. I love it. Now, I did a good job of making this one a lot more up close, but it is out of focus, as you can see. And you've got this nasty Taco Bell wrapper in the frame. I don't know why I did that. This is my very first guitar. It was actually a plastic guitar, and you'd be surprised to know that this thing actually works. Same three guys trying to play guitar together. We've got these guys. One's operating the mouse, one's operating the arrow keys, and so who knows what they're trying to do. At this time, they were probably trying to play RuneScape. But again, look at how far away I am. Not doing myself any favors there. I'm not really sure what this one is supposed to be. We've got two guys standing on a My Mommy book, and then we've got one guy in the middle of the shoes. I don't know what I was doing on this one. We can go ahead and skip past that. Oh, here we go. On the couch, you've got my leg in my basketball shorts, and surprisingly, my leg doesn't look that different. Taking a really far away shot of what looks like a guy about to kick the soccer ball, and Shaq is guarding the goal with a hockey stick. But super far away as usual, and look at the plaid pattern on that couch. I can't believe that I found these. Oh, here, this is the same day. You can see after the Taco Bell, I crushed a slice of cake. But this is almost like a still life with all the things that are on the photo here. There's so many things that I'm looking at, but there is a part that I really like about this. So you've got the one minifig in the middle who's trying to eat the cake, and he's gonna basically die before he finishes the entire cake with how much bigger that is than him. But look over here in the corner, it's like I'm telling two stories at once. It's like the guy is sealed inside the bubble, he's looking at his friend outside the bubble, and that reminds me of the Simpsons movie.
We're being sealed in a dome!
Or that, what is that one Stephen King book where there's the bubble that forms around that town? So that's kind of unique, fun stuff there. And then you've got all four of them just gorging themselves, diving head first into this piece of chocolate cake. Imagine eating chocolate cake like that where you're just planked out. I just think that looks really funny. If you see there on the table, what I believe that is a, I'll put whatever it was called on the screen.
Scanners!
It was a thing where you would scan barcodes like at the store, or you could scan ones in your house, and then you would find monsters in the barcodes, and you could like collect them or fight them. It was kind of like Pokemon, but the monsters were found in barcodes, which is actually a super duper cool idea for a toy. I remember that being so awesome. So another critique here for myself, I was very close to the subject here, but unfortunately it's blown out, overexposed because of the flash. It's very blurry, you can barely see what's going on. But finally, we've got Shaq doing what he was made to do, which is playing some basketball. He's dunking there. And I didn't remember this, but it's funny how the actual basketball goal is literally bigger than the minifig. You can almost fit inside of it. Like I said, these are not good photographs, but I'm having a good time looking at these so far. Oh, I love the Diet Snapple. So here, Shaq's facing off against a giant stuffed animal. He's incredibly brave, because that thing is huge. And then we've got two more monsters facing off against these same four minifigs. These guys are in all the photos. I know I had more minifigs, but I guess I just decided, you know, they're not gonna be in the photos or something. Three minifigs trying to hold up a candle. Again, at least they have something to do. I mean, that's all I can say. There, you can barely see them because you've got this whole photo and just a tiny little spot. That's not inherently bad. There could be cases where this might work. If you're trying to show the scale of the minifigs, then that might work. It's very far away. Please, just put your camera closer, please. Just put your camera just a little bit closer. But here, another nostalgic thing from my childhood, Dragon Ball Z. Looks like we've got Frieza, we've got Gohan, Super Saiyan Gohan, and then who would that be? Goten? Super Saiyan Goten? Literally about to decimate all my minifigures. So it looks like they're facing certain death, right? Looks like they're about to literally be destroyed by 2 Super Saiyans and Frieza. But it looks like they absolutely destroy the Dragon Ball Z characters. They're left here laying on the ground as if they're dead, and also a giant lightsaber appeared from somewhere. We got Obi-Wan's lightsaber, and I loved playing with lightsabers as a kid. We would have massive lightsaber fights outside, inside, all the time, and that was the best. But I did save the best for last. The guy on the left looks like he was from Power Miners, but this would have been before that. Thank you to Mike R, Calypsy's Bricks in my community for figuring out this was actually a minifig from Alpha Team Deep Sea Robot Diver from the Mission Deep Sea series. And this was released in 2002. I do remember this exoskeleton, which I had at some point. This is what you want from a minifig photograph. Get up on your subject. We can see his expression. We can see clearly what we're looking at. And then what you've got to the right is looks like a Slytherin outfit from the very original Harry Potter series. And again, I still wish that I had that. I wish that I had these minifigs. It's a sad story. I don't have any of my childhood Lego anymore. Unfortunately, like right before I got back into Lego, I told my parents they could get rid of it. And so I think they just gave it all away. If I could go back, I really wish I had that stuff still because that is so nostalgic. I finally figured it out near the end here. I need to get a little bit closer to my subject. And I have thought about doing a tutorial for Lego photography techniques before. Maybe I still will do that. Just let me know if that's something you guys might be interested in. And then finally, I think this is one of my personal favorite photographs. Mr. Miner hanging on for dear life on the edge of this cup. I don't know, it just evokes a nice emotion in me. You can tell he's really hanging on. Makes me concerned for his safety. It's framed pretty well. It's shot pretty up close so you can actually see what's happening. And this is probably my favorite of the whole series besides the guy with the 2x4 brick on his head. So that's pretty much all the Lego photos. I did include this photo of our old dog Buddy, the cute corgi. I do love corgis. So overall impression of those photos, nothing special, but for a 10-year-old, I'll take it. It's not important how you do it or how well you do it. It's what's most important for a kid is that they do it. And this was one of the beginning steps of me becoming interested in photography and combining that with Lego into the medium for how I'm doing it still now here today. Let me know if anything in these photos stuck out to you, if there were any of these minifigs that you recognized. I really wish that I had more photos of my actual sets and my actual collection because a lot of that stuff I'm sure I've just forgotten about by now because I have forgotten about these minifigs as well, except for the basketball ones. I know I had more basketball ones and I wish I could see the exact ones that I had. But that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.